Hello and welcome to this E4 Clicks Project Estimator training video. Today we're going to look at importing estimates. If you haven't seen exporting estimates video, we highly recommend that you go and watch that now. This is kind of a two-part video. We did the exporting, and then this importing, we're going to be the next step of what we did in the first one and kind of leave off where that one ended. So it may be a good idea to go watch that. Either way, you can do what you need to. Okay, so in this importing estimates video, we're going to look at importing estimates. We'll look at the Estimator import window, as well as the set properties for newly imported estimates window, and some of the options on each of those. So let's switch over to E4 Clicks, and we're going to start from the Estimates tab of the Update Project window, right where we were at the end of the Exporting Estimates video. Okay, just to remind us a little bit, if we go up to File, we don't see File Open, File Save As. So when we're working in between databases, we don't do a save as and then email it over. We actually export a piece of the database to an export file, and then we email that or copy that over somewhere, and then we can import that export file into a different database. So we use import and export to share estimate data in between two databases or two systems or two servers or two companies, okay? Does that make sense a little bit? So we can do importing and exporting of projects, but as we talked about in the last video, normally we're going to do importing and exporting of estimates. We want you to own the project. We want you to put the right contract information, the right totaling schema information, the right contacts and locations and all of that kind of different stuff. We want you to own your project and then import and export that estimate information. So that's what we're going to do in this one, but the process would be very similar. Okay? So we want to execute a command inside E4 Clicks. What are we going to do? If in doubt, let's right-click. And we can see our different menu options. Before we do that, let me clean this up a little bit for us. All right? So I'm going to teach you a new one that you may not have seen before, process tagged estimates, and then we're going to delete the tagged estimates. Let's just clear this out. This is not part of the exporting or importing feature itself, so don't get confused there. I'm just cleaning this up so we can see a blank estimate, okay? So we can pretend we're on a different system that didn't have that, all right? So we'll go back to right-click, and we're going to go to the Import, Export, Minute Cascades, and we can see import or restore estimates, as well as backup or export or backup. We saw in the last video, the exporting video, that we're basically saving a backup somewhere on our system, and we could import or restore that later if we wanted to use it as a backup and not necessarily even share it with someone else. Okay? We're going to go ahead and do import for right now, so we could use this menu command. Let's also show you the toolbar icon up here, the little green arrow coming into the folder there, import estimates. So we'll click on that one there since we're there. This will open up the Choose File Location and File Name window. All right? This is a list of all of our E4 Clicks export files. And we could go find the right location. Here we're going to use the default location. As we saw in the last video, our training program is called Estimator, and it uses .emc extensions. E4 Clicks uses .e4c extensions. It's the same exact program, and the files work the exact same. We just have one for training and one for actual distribution. Okay? So we could choose either one of these, but we would choose the one we want and double-click on it, or click the Open button. This opens up the backup information window. We can see again where we typed in these are notes, right? We typed that in when we did the export. This information just gives us, this window gives us some information about our backup, and we can continue. And this opens up the estimate import window. Okay, here we can see the 7 estimates that we exported. We could choose to import all of these. If we didn't want them all imported, we could untag some options, or some estimates. As we walk through the file, we can see as we highlight the different estimates, we have all the different line items contained therein on the bottom half. Okay, actually import something, we need to right-click or use the Estimate button down there. Up here, and I'm going to right-click. The top option lets us bring in the estimates separately. So we'd have all 7 as separate estimates. Or we could bring in the tagged estimates all merged into one big estimate, and it would just combine it all in, and we'd have one estimate at the end. Let's go ahead and use the top option. When we click on this, it opens up the Set Properties for Newly Imported Estimates window. There are various fields in here that we do some different things with. Let me point out a couple. One being automatically reprice RS means and trades items. If we were importing an estimate, say, created in 2010, we could actually reprice the RS means data from 2010 to 2012 as we import it. So really nice feature to save us some time. Really cool. I also want to point out the totaling components field here. This is probably the most important field on this window because it affects our totals. It affects our markups, obviously. So we use the totaling components that came with the export file by using the top option here from the clipboard. We could also slap on our default project totaling components that we set up when we set up the project. We could choose from our list of totaling schemas. If we click this one and click OK, we'll get another window that'll pop up, and we could choose from all of the schemas that we have, or we could use none, and that would bring them in without any markups. We can use the default, and when we click the OK button, it's actually going to bring in each one of those estimates and import it into our project. Then we get the Import Complete window. It's going to show us that all 7 estimates were imported. The original or exported value of the estimates is shown, as well as the imported or new value of the estimates shown. If these two numbers are different, it could come from a couple of places. The most important, most critical being the totaling components. We could have put different markups on the estimates. We also could have repriced, as we saw, which would take it from 2010 to 2012. We'd obviously have changes in all of the line items themselves, which would affect the total. And there's an option there we could actually clear all the quantities out, and then we'd be reducing it down to 0. Okay? So totaling components is the first thing to check to see if those totaling components did not match when we imported versus when we exported. All right? So when we click the OK button, we're brought back here to the Estimate Export window, and we could do other import where we merged them or we only imported part of them, but we'll be done now, so we can go and hit the Close button. This will return us back to the Estimates tab of the Update Project window, and we can see our 7 estimates are back. Same total, same everything. Make sense? Hopefully that's a nice way and a nice explanation. You can use these 2 videos on importing and exporting and seeing how to share data from one database to another, or one system to another. All right? Please share other training videos or give us a call if you need any help. Thanks so much and have a great day.